Hi, I'm Sylvia from the Meerkats, down at HU talking to Sarah Taylor, who's done several crossings of the Simpson Desert unsupported, an amazing lady. Sarah, what's your favourite part of your ADV kit?
The best part of my kit would be my camping equipment, because it allows me to be comfortable when I'm out there, and it allows me to spend time under the stars and get a good night's sleep between hard days on the road.
Why do you ride?
I got into riding because of the sense of freedom. I think I wanted to maybe perhaps rebel a little bit as a teenager. So when I turned 18, to rebel against my parents a little bit, I got my motorcycle license and bought a bike. And I fell in love with it straight away. The sense of freedom to be able to go off and do your own thing and go wherever you wanted to go. It wasn't using like a car to go from point A to point B. You were just going somewhere because of the scenery, or going somewhere because of the road, going somewhere to enjoy the journey rather than just the destination. I think that was part of motorcycles for me.
Did you encounter any adversity in the desert?
Probably the biggest, there were a lot of challenges in the desert. Being by myself, I had no one to pick me up when I started to feel down, when I started to doubt myself, and when negativity started to creep in. So to combat that, I started to think about things in very small goals. So the next intersection would be, or the next track junction would be 35 kilometres. So I knew that I only had to go 35 kilometres and then I'd get a rest. I'd stop and I'd have achieved something. And in that 35 kilometres, I might stop 10 times for a drink, just a sip of my Camelback, or a lolly from my pocket or something like that. I'd stop a few times, but I always knew that it was only that 35 kilometres that I had to reach, and then I could be sort of happy with myself. It was a small achievement rather than looking at it as a gigantic achievement, being the 500 plus kilometres by myself, 1100 sand dunes. It's hard to think positively when you've got so much more of that to come with that hard work and everything that you have to put in for that. So I think small little achievements, small goals along the way help to combat the negativity and the anxiety and the fear and everything that creeps in when you're out there by yourself.
As a woman rider, were you empowered by this trip in any way?
Yes, I think I was. I met someone along the way who I told him what my plan was, that I was going into the Simpson Desert and I was going to do this thing by myself. And he turned around to me and he said he didn't think I could do it. He basically said, "You're not going to make it." And that was, I suppose, reiterated with other people that I met along the way, but no one in such certain terms. No one sort of said, "Oh, I think you're going to be fine." A lot of people said, "Well, good luck." There wasn't much more than that. There was a couple of people who were quite negative about it, saying, "I don't think you can do it." And that really hurts, I think, because he specifically said, because you're a woman travelling by yourself, I don't think you're going to be able to make it. And to kind of fight that a little, I investigated a bit more. I asked him a whole bunch of questions to see, why did he think that about me? Is it just purely because I'm a woman, or is there something else underlying? And what I figured out was that he wasn't a confident sand rider himself. And so he didn't think he could do it. He didn't believe he could do it. Therefore, he was putting his own limitations on me. And because I'm a woman, therefore, there's even less chance that I could make it. But luckily for me, my reaction to that, my anger and frustration that came from that experience, was something that actually gave me energy and motivation and spurred me on in the hardest times to help get me through. So I was, in my mind, in my hardest times, I just thought, I can't turn around, I can't stop here, I can't fail, because then he will be right. That man who was, I felt was quite horrible to me, he would be right, and I wanted to prove him wrong.
What are your top tips for girls for sand riding?
2 top tips for sand riding girls are, always look ahead. Don't look at the track in front of you, keep your eyes up and look ahead. And the other thing is body positioning on the bike. So you want to be standing up, gripping the seat, the sides of the seat with your knees, and you're actually pointing the bike with your knees. You're directing the bike with your knees and your hips rather than with your handlebars. So keep your eyes up and then use your knees and your hips and the weight of your pegs to actually direct the bike, steer the bike.
Thanks for the interview, Sarah. You're an amazing lady. Across the Simpsons several times, unsupported. Just fantastic.